So the patch is really close to us, and what should you grind first in the upcoming update? Well guys, of course this depends. This is a very broad question and it depends on whatever country you like the most, right? Of course, if you like the US, go for the F-18s. If you like the Russians, go for the Su-30, etc, etc. And to be honest, we don't have a lot of things to get in this update, right? So basically I mean, we have between the Su-30 and then the F-18, because everything else, I mean, that's the type of question that we're going to try to answer today, right? So in my opinion, the vehicles that you probably should stay a little bit away from, unless you really like those nations or you want to play with those nations in a specific way, would be obviously the Tornado IDS MLU Ret 8. It's pretty much the same as the normal Tornado. It's just basically a complementation of a vehicle that we already had in that tech tree. So it's pretty much a vehicle that, unless you really like the Italians, you really want something else there, you probably should let the Tornado to be in the last of the grinding list that you should do, right? And then after that, I think the one after that it has the least amount of abilities for you to get would be probably the Swedish F-18, the Finnish F-18, right? Although yes, it is probably the easiest F-18 for you to get. So if you are near the top tier of Sweden, it would be the easiest F-18 for you to get, way less aircraft for you to grind, and yeah, you would still be an F-18 late, but doesn't have air to ground for a normal player that would have tanks and aircraft. So because of that, probably is an aircraft that is less interesting than the other ones. Then I would probably put the J-11P as a little bit more interesting, because of course it is becoming a 13.7, has the PL-8B, which is one of the best missiles IR in the game. It has a very interesting radar, very good performance, the same performance as the NSU-27SM more or less, and it has the PL-12s, right? So combining that with a very powerful air-to-ground capability, it is an interesting aircraft, but there are more interesting things. And last but not least, I would put, of course, the 3 remaining aircraft for the grind. In the third position, I would put probably the F-18C late. Yes, I still believe the F-18C late is not as interesting as the A, just because it is, the A is a 12.3 vehicle, but we are gonna get to that. The F-18C late is a very good aircraft. It is a powerful aircraft. It is going to be very powerful, especially in the BVR, because of the amount of missiles you can take. But remember guys, this thing also is, you know, somewhat of a, I mean, it has one problem, and that can be problematic in my opinion for the majority of the players, and that is energy retention. Although it does have, you know, not energy retention, sorry, the max speed of the aircraft. So although that cannot be like the main thing, but it's something that can be a little bit problematic when you are going BVR against an Eurofighter or a FAL, something like that, right? And in a dogfight, you would still probably lose for some of these aircraft. So it is up there, it is one of the best aircraft in the game, but you know, I think there are more interesting things for you to grind. In the second position, I would put the F-18A. Yeah, the F-18A is very interesting in my opinion, of course, because it is a 12.3 aircraft. So it has almost the same performance as the late variant of the C model, but it is facing F4Es, for example, at 11.3. So it has an amazing BR for it. It will stomp everything when it gets down tier. And yeah, I mean, it has barrels and nines. Not the greatest missiles ever. The radar is pretty good. Performance is pretty amazing, apart from the max speed side of things. So it is an aircraft that will stomp everything if it gets to the down tier. It's probably gonna be pushed to 12.7 eventually, I think, because it's gonna be too good, I think, in 12.3. It is the same problem that I had with the Mirage 2000. I still believe the F-18 is more capable than the Mirage 2000 overall for the average player, right? It has a very easy cannon to use. AIM-9Ls are very easy to use. No IRCCM, but still, AIM-7s, you know, very good missile. It has its problems, but it's a very good missile. The radar is pretty good. The performance is pretty good. So yeah, it's gonna be an amazing aircraft. And the first one that you should get, in my opinion, is the Su-30SM. And I'm not gonna say it is going to be the best aircraft in the game, but it is, out of the new ones, probably the best one, the best performing one. And I gotta say, the combination of 14 missiles with the R-77-1, which will be the best Fox 3 missile in the game for now, the BARS radar, which is one of the best, if not the best radar in the game, the ability of using thrust vectoring. The only problem that this thing has is an underpowered engine, so everything else, it probably can beat every single aircraft in the game if used correctly. So yeah, the Su-30SM, yeah, has air-to-ground capabilities and everything, so it is the most interesting aircraft and probably going to be the best of the update for you to get. So if I would focus my grind and give a list for you on aircraft for you to grind first, the Su-30SM would be my first, the second the F-18A, F-18C third, fourth the J-11B, and fifth the F-18C for Sweden, unless you are, you know, you don't have anything in the US and then you're just a Swedish main, then yeah, go for the F-18C. And then last but not least, the Tornado, which is the least interesting one, okay? This is my opinion, of course. Leave it yours in the comments down below, and I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and bye guys, see you.